Hi, Zavi Jenda here from at We Light Beans and at figure.8.energy on Instagram. And do you want to know what the most attractive thing is? Wait for it. It's so attractive when you are aware and in charge of your energy. That's right. Today we are talking about energy hygiene and energy budgets. Hold up. What? Yeah. Let's talk about the energy body a bit, because this invisible force field around us has some holes, has tears, has fractures, has cracks, and energy is coming in and energy is going out, and there is energy leakage. And how can you have an energy budget if you're not aware where the energy is seeping out? And how can you even tell if there's an energy leakage? Well, you're exhausted. You're feeling really sensitive to other people's energies. You're sick. Sometimes, and this goes into feeling other people's energies, like you could be in a room and suddenly you just start feeling kind of, but you walked into that room and you're just like, I'm pretty good, but then you're just like, and then you look around and you're just like, whoa, I'm actually picking up on that person's energy. And there's some other situations that we can get into a little bit later. But when we allow our energy to leak out in this way, we're not functioning in our most optimal state, right? We're not functioning in our most optimal state because we have all this energy going to sources that haven't been calculated for. And so it's really important to understand and see, where are these unconscious contracts? Like, a lot of people have heard about karmic cycles, right? And karmic partners and karmic family dynamics and friendships and all of these different things, right? But a lot of us aren't really aware of it until we come into that stream of consciousness and we're just like, whoa, this is actually happening because of something that I did to somebody else. And so it's like we're in this cycle, or I'm fulfilling out something that happened in a past life, or whatever the reasons are. When we have these unconscious contracts with people, like, we are allowing that to continue in playing until we say, oh, hey, I'm tagging out. Like I'm done. I don't need the lesson from this anymore. Like, I've already taken in and integrated it. And so that's a whole other topic on becoming aware of what those karmic contracts are. Going back to where this energy is leaking, think of that phrase, where your attention goes, your energy flows, right? So the figure 8 energy, my energy is going out and it's flowing out, and whatever it's going to, like, it instead of it coming back, it is just sucking out this way. Because sometimes those situations aren't giving us energy back, and if they are giving us energy back, like, what kind of energy is it? Is this an unconscious, like, energy leakage that is fueling you? Like, that is great. Maybe you want to keep that within your energy budget. But if it's something where you're giving energy out and then it's just like siphoning, well, then it comes to the point where you have to address, like, can I allot this much energy to this situation? Do I have enough energy reserves to account for that? And is it worth it, right? Because maybe if you do want to hold on to, like, whatever is siphoning that energy because you are choosing to budget a certain amount of energy towards that situation, well, then you have to look over here and look at your cup and be like, where can I fill the cup so that I can donate it this way, right? So in those situations, you can think of them as like drama, right? In certain situations, there may be a lot of drama, and that just siphons a lot of energy, right? And sometimes there's just like people who come around you and you feel like, well, you're not really getting much from them, but they're getting so much to you. Well, those are energy parasites. See, there they are, latch onto you, just like sucking, like draining you, and you're just like, I'm not really like feeling a whole lot of reciprocity in this, like a figure eight energy. And another way is through multiple partners, right? Because anytime we're having these exchanges, like, we are giving them energy and they are giving us energy too. And sometimes the energy that they're giving us is just more for our bodies to have to process. So it's more than just like, okay, now we have reciprocity because it's going here and it's going here and it's going here. It's like, well, now you're making a bunch of different contracts and you're taking in that information to your body, and whether you're conscious of it or not, your body is trying to process that. And yeah, it helps you to be more intuitive and be connected with that person on the deeper levels, but do you have the energy budget for it? And is this a conscious contract? And is this an agreed upon contract between all parties? So there are a lot of ways to manage energies and even cut off energies. And sometimes I feel like we can be very harsh. Sometimes I can come off as pretty harsh, and I was supposed to actually do a disclaimer. In this video, some of the things I say might not be things that you want to hear, and I'm going to say them anyways. And if you're triggered by it, then like take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because this message might resonate with some people on certain things, and then the other things are not. And then, you know, it kind of goes in that. So if like what I say resonates with you, that's great. But if you don't agree with it, like, my word's not God, right? Sometimes I channel through God, and the things that I'm saying is only because of the experiences that I've had thus far. So keep that in mind, you know. I try to share stories with you guys to let you know why I have certain beliefs and am operating in a certain way, and that just means it's true to me. You can take these practices and apply them to your life and see if that works for you. And if it doesn't, well, you know, you tried, and I tried to share with you what I know. And so, having said all of that, I'm going to go in the very harshness of snip, right? There is a practice where you can close your eyes and view all of these energy cords coming off of you, and you can just choose to sword swipe them. You can choose to snip them. You can do a cord cutting ceremony with a candle and put your intentions into that. There are so many different methods on doing it. And I do want to let you know that when you do these energy severances, it doesn't mean that you're going to be disconnected to them in real life, right? You're just disconnecting the major pull that is on your energy. This has happened in situations where it's like, let's say a family member, because this is what I work with a lot. And there could be a person who you feel like you're giving way too much energy to, or they're like taking a lot of energy to. You can cut that energy cord, and it just means that all that siphon won't go there, but you'll still be able to interact with them in person, but you'll be able to show up from a better place because you don't feel drained from being in their presence, because you've had this cord that's been connected to you, like wherever you go. You're able to be more fully present with what they're experiencing and acknowledge that, hey, the energy that they're exuding right now is just in their energy body. And because you are whole in your own energy body, now you're able to greet them where their energy is at and where your energy is at. And then you're able to act with more compassion because you can see, oh, this is all them, right? and I can feel it, but I don't feel it so intensely that it's in my being. And now I have like some sort of feelings about it, because it's like, it's through you, right? And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but like doing these energy severances, it helps you come back to your energy so that you know what is your energy and what's other people's energy. And that discernment is really important, because we are actually able to show up for other people better when our energies aren't so entangled, right? Like sometimes we need to take a step back and address it in that way. And in doing so, like, well, now you have more energy, so you really can come forward in a more cohesive way, in a way that where you can be fully present and not quite as biased. And another way that we can process these energies, specifically when we're talking about beings who have multiple partners or have had multiple partners, or even partners in the past, like that energy, it can stay in your body. And there's a way to cycle the energy up out of you, because whenever you're exchanging bodily fluids, there is a very strong 2-week window where all those codes are intertwined, and you can pick up on so much. And women are really receptive to this, because we are ruled by our waters, and sometimes it, like it comes through as intuition, and we can feel a little bit crazy. And I've had this happen several times in my life, and so this is like why I can attest to it and say like, yeah, this is absolutely true. Besides there actually being like studies about it, where like instances where I have felt very strongly that like something was occurring, because I would feel another woman's energy, and I was just like, whoa, like, no, why? And then the person would walk into the room, and it would be somebody I'd never met before, and I would just feel the string of connection, and I'm just like, what? But then my mind is being like, no, you're just feeling this. Like, what is this insecurity, right? And why do you feel it towards this person? And so a past version of me would look for evidence, right? And I'd find the evidence. And by the way, that hurts so much more than just like trusting your intuition and choosing to walk away. And then there's other times where like it would happen and I'd get the intuition, and then I'm, reflecting on myself again. I'm like, no, absolutely not. And then the evidence would come to me, and it's just like, okay, well, now I got to process that. So it's very important to be conscious of the contracts that you have with people, and to make sure that you are actually making the contracts too, so everybody can be on the same page, and to take in the biology into consideration as well. And I'm gonna like rewind a little bit and be a little bit sciencey, but there is a rife frequency machine, right? I have something called a Spooky 2. It's a frequency generator, and I have the ability to do like biofeedbacks, right? So like I hook you up to this device. It's sending like pulses of frequencies throughout your body, and then whatever your body is picking up on it, like it dings it, and like it puts it on my screen, and I know what frequencies are active in your body, right? And it could be all sorts of things. Having that information, and even if I don't have that information, if you give me a piece of your DNA, I am able to program things to be sent to you. It's called like remote frequency transmissions, right? So I have this little device. I put like a fingernail in it. Somebody recently gave me a tooth, which is like incredible. And I know this can sound like a really like creepy, but like think of all the labs that have your blood. Just saying, that's a little more sketchy. Not gonna dive into that, but what typically I do is like I sit down with people and we go through these programs. We say like, okay, what would you like to program yourself with? If there's a bunch of things that are like negative in your body, like ailments and even like thought patterns and just all sorts of things that are going through, I can program frequencies to shoot back at it, to like clear out that frequency so that you can like reprogram it with something else. And so this is used for all sorts of ailments, like from like pain to like viruses and diseases and bacterias, and you can even program like emotions and planetary energies and essential oils and different nutrients. And so this is viewing your energy body, right? Because like everything has a certain frequency to it, so it's just like putting those energies in your body, and then your energy body picks up on it and interacts with it as it would if it were physical food emanating that certain frequency. So in the same concept of like, hey, I have this piece of DNA, I can put an energy to it and shoot it to you wherever you are, because you're always connected to that DNA in the body, whether it's like through intercourse or just like saliva on the skin, because their skin is your largest organ, and so it's being absorbed into your body, and now your cells are interacting with it. Like all of that are codes, like you're getting information. And so that's something you have to be very conscious of whenever you're considering your energy budget, because now when you bring another person into it, you are accounting for the energies that they're coming with, and whatever that they're having to heal through. And so it's like a really beautiful thing for like connection, and it's something to also consider whenever you're making your energy budget, because then you have to put in your priorities. For some reason my mind just like flashed to breastfeeding and like the beauty of breastfeeding and that connection, and like the energy exchange that happens through all of that. And being a mother, like that's one of my priorities. My children, right? And in order to allocate the proper amount of energy in my budget towards my children, there are certain things that I need to put in my budget for myself so I can show up for that. And it has to do with like environments. Like if I have to be in a peaceful environment, like yeah, I have existed in environments that weren't peaceful before, and I was able to navigate it, but I know that when I'm in those environments, there's a certain amount of energy that's going into that environment to try to create harmony and peace. And if it's too much and I feel like so much energy is going out and it's just depleting me, now I'm pulling from the reserves of energy that I have that I said was for my children. And so then I have to make choices to make sure that that's not siphoning my energy. Other things are with like food. Like there's certain foods, when you eat it, you can feel what it's doing in your body. There's a reason that certain things are called comfort foods, because they make you feel so cozy and warm and just like want to slump down and chill. And that's really great if your energy, like you can account for that in your energy budget and you don't need that energy for something else. Like for me, if I'm going to be doing comfort foods, I will choose it in a moment where like, oh, my children are going to be sleeping, so I know I can be like a little bit sedated at this moment, so like nap time, or at night, things where my energy is not going to need to be so active and so present. And also in my energy budget, like I'm very like service oriented. Like I feel the call from the divine to do the different works that I need to do to be connected to certain individuals and to show up energetically for certain events. And so what I'll do is I'll look at these different events and I'll be like, oh, this event's going to take this amount of energy. This is what I'm anticipating for it. So how am I going to prepare myself from it? I'm going to make sure that I'm not giving so much energy to situations that aren't giving me too much energy back. To my children, it's very different because they're a priority. So I'm not expecting them to give me energy back, because my vow is to them to keep doing this. And it's for source and all of those things. And I feel like I'm just like rolling right now, and I'm gonna reel it back. To sacredness, right? Because we're talking about priorities, and it means being very intentional with where your energy goes. And this is where holding your energy sacred, valuing yourself at a certain level where you can say, hey, no, I do not allow this in my energy field. Or yes, I am allowing you in to my energy field. And it's sacred because I am intentionally allocating some of my energy to you when I know this is the energy that I'm working with, right? And I can pull more energy from food. I can pull more energy from source. And depending on your human design, maybe you generate your own energy, but you still have to allocate it towards the things that you want to allocate it towards, so your energy won't be used for not good and misintention and all of these things. And when we are looking at energy and we're talking about the sacredness of it, this is going to seem like it's rated R for a moment. Just bear with me. Sex, in the sense of S.E.X, sacred energy exchange. Everywhere that you're putting your energy is sacred. So being intentional with it means having boundaries, not feeling obligated to be a people pleaser. Like, you can say no, and say no from your heart. Like, it's not you, it's really because these are my priorities and these are my contracts. And you start to form really intentional contracts where everybody's on the same page. And you start to be able to gauge your energy cup to a point where maybe you do have some extra energy to sprinkle on something else. And you allot for, like, if certain situations take more energy, but it's still sacred, right? You still get to choose where that energy is going. But if you're not conscious of where your energy is spilling to, or you're just allowing people to keep taking from you, and then you're getting exhausted, right? You're depleting yourself because you're not able to deplete yourself at a level that is in a fair ratio to that. Like, it's not going to be good for you. You're not really going to be able to show up for the people that you love. You're not really going to be able to show up for yourself. You're not really even operating with your energy in a way that the divine meant you to. Like, energy is such a gift, right? How many of us feel sluggish? How many of us feel sickness? How many of us just, like, reach for that extra cup of coffee or some sort of, like, energy stimulator because we feel like the energy is not there. It's like, well, the energy is there. It needs to be mapped around what your priorities are. In this way, when we're conscious of all of this, we can flow more efficiently. And sometimes where the energy gets trapped is it gets trapped in a loop in your head, right? Like, you'll think a thought that has an energy attached to it, and that energy will make you feel a certain way, right? So, like, if I think about something and, like, it makes me sad, and then I keep thinking about it, and I keep thinking about it, and I keep thinking about the same thing, and it's just making me sad. Like, there's a point where you can acknowledge, like, oh, I'm having this thought again, and choose to snap out of it. And I know that's like, whoa, Dobby, like, it's a lot easier said than done. Like, we know what these depressive spirals are, but just bear with me for one moment and really try this. Like, next time you find yourself saying something, or you hear something telling you something and it's not making you feel good, acknowledge that and then be like, whoa, okay, I've already heard this before. I don't need it to keep going on a cycle in my head. I've acknowledged that this thought doesn't make me feel good. Now, let's go into action. What can I do that will make me feel good? And I'm not saying go find a vice, like, do something unhealthy, but, like, find a way where you're not self-sabotaging. Those cyclical thoughts that aren't doing you any good, they're just pulling on your energy. They're keeping you at a very low vibration, right? They're keeping you exhausted. They're making you sick. They're bringing in all of these lower vibrating frequencies that make you feel sad. And yes, it's very important to dip into those things for the polarity, so you can sort out all sorts of stuff. But, like, allow yourself to say when is enough, right? And then choose to come back up. choose to come back up that spiral and exist in a different energy. Just make sure you're really looking at your energy budget and being like, okay, how much energy do I want to allot to being in this part of the frequency vortex? And how long is it going to take me to regenerate some more energy so I can get up out of it? Because it does take some time sometimes. It's not that chilly in here. I just like to be cozy. So with energy, some other things, right? So I've talked to y'all about sleep before, right? I don't always get the prescribed amount of sleep, and a lot of people don't. A lot of moms don't. And some people say, oh, it's the way we're hardwired and all this stuff. It's like, actually, it's the way that you manage your energy. Because I know that I need to do certain things that give me energy, right? So the service work that I do, when I'm giving that energy out, I feel invigorated. I feel inspired, and it's giving me energy. And then there's certain times where like I acknowledge that I'm giving out way too much and it's not quite fueling me to the same extent. And so that's when I'll have to take time out for things like self-care. And as a mom, my time for self-care is when they're asleep, right? So typically overnight, in the middle of the night, that's when I do a lot of communication. That's when I do a lot of like simple projects, prayer, just whatever. And I'm able to wake up, like go to sleep after that and wake up maybe a couple hours later and be able to show up for them because I've filled my cup. I filled my cup while they're sleeping. So even though I didn't get enough sleep, that's not what my source of energy was. My source of energy was from doing things that made me feel good, you know. Also, like I was saying, like the foods that are eaten as well, like that can help too. And segmenting and looking at your day and saying, hey, where am I going to use a lot of energy and where can I take time to rest, right? And creating that structure for your individual life or whatever it means. If you're able to take a nap, how many here love naps? Sometimes I love naps. Sometimes I'm just like, other times I really like naps. Sorry, I just like, my energy for the night is dwindling down. Yeah, as I look at my smoothie and I'm just like, I should totally be drinking the smoothie because it will give me energy. The last thing I want to say before I tell you that I'm going to have blueberry in my teeth because that's what blueberry smoothies do. So just like, I am fully aware of that. The last thing I want to say with energy budgets is a great way to gauge where the energies are going and to know what energy is yours and what energy is not yours is to do a cleanse. Like fast, like a juice cleanse, or like a juice fast or water fast. I would recommend juice, just that way you're still giving your cells minerals, you know, giving it energy. And some of the compounds can even help to promote the detoxification process of your cells anyways. But our cells are water, right? And energy travels through water. And so in our cells, we have a lot of programs too. So like, yeah, when we're doing the cleanse, like we're detoxing ourselves of like all of these different programs, and we're detoxing ourselves of other people's energy as well. And so you'll basically get to the point where you're cleansed out and you are feeling things a lot more sensitively. But if you're working on your energetic force field, and I've done videos about this before, but I can go ahead and like talk you through one right now. You do a practice for your energy force field to seal all of those tears, fractures, cracks, and holes, and all of these things. So then you have like that layer of protection around you, and then you just like fill it with your energy, right? And then when any other energies come in, you're able to see like, whoa, that's like not normally what I feel. And then you can start to think about that. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and guide you through that practice right now. So go ahead and take in and exhale. We'll do 3 breaths, okay? So inhale, exhale through your mouth, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, inhale through your nose again, exhale through your mouth, really allowing yourself to just settle in the space. Okay, we're going to picture our spot on the grid, right? There's a grid above us, above the earth, and everybody has a specific spot on it. So go ahead and envision what your spot is, what the color is. This is where your ancestors, angels, and spirit guides connect to you, give you downloads and all this stuff. And it's where you can also pull in some divine energy. So we're going to go ahead and connect with that point and pull it down through our root chakra, right? Down our neck, down our spine, making a loop at the bottom, coming back up, 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 spilling out over our crown chakra, filling in any of those tears, holes, fractures, cracks that may be in your force field, right? It's going all the way around and down. And then connecting with the point again, pulling it down through your crown, down your neck, down your spine, all the way down, making a loop at the bottom, coming back up, 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 and now spilling over your shoulders, through your arms, off your fingertips. This is like pushing the energy. It's pushing the energy through and off and out. And then you will do this 2 more times. So pulling the energy in, down, looping, up, spilling out over, filling in any of those remaining holes, tears, cracks, and fractures. If you don't get it all, it's okay. There's one more that we'll do after we pull in some more light into our crown, down our neck, down our spine, all the way bottom, making a loop, spilling out over our shoulders, through our arms, through our hands, through our fingertips, and back again, pulling this energy in through our crown, down our neck, down our spine, all the way down to the bottom, making a loop, coming back up, 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 spilling out over our crown chakra. Pulling the energy in again, following that, really feeling it, picking up any energies that are dense and stagnant and pushing it through. That stretch that you feel, that's the energy moving through your body. Okay, now that this divine energy has helped to seal some of the discrepancies in your force field, I want you to close your eyes and envision the force field around you and see where there may be any remaining sorry, I paused for a moment because I see some in mine, and any remaining fractures. And use figure 8 energy motions. You can do it with both hands, you can do it one hand, but this is like weaving. So like you're going to weave with your energy hands in these spots. Weave it and seal it up. And use your mind's eye, okay? You can visualize if there's any behind you as well. And like there's this cool thing where you can like be weaving in front of you, but the energy is like transferring behind you, as long as you keep that connection to that spot. Okay, and once you're done with that, there's an energy dance that you can do where you can like really just like flow into figure 8 energy motions. But I'm in a chair right now, so I'm not going to be able to do too much. But I do want you guys to visualize this energy force field, right, that you have put up around you, and just fill it with energy, like dance in it, feel your energy, or just feel what you want to feel, right? Some like really nice peaceful energy, creative energy, happiness, ease. Maybe you want to feel like invigorated because you have like something that you're about to do. Just fill it in. And so now, like, this is in your energy field. Like, this is what you have, and this is what you are projecting, right? Because we also have that Taurus field too, that's like projecting it out towards people, and we can talk about that another time. But for right now, this is your energy. This is your baseline. So whenever you're feeling any other energies creep in, you feel any other like emotions come in, see and acknowledge, where are those emotions coming from? Is it coming from another person? Do you have an energetic tie to somebody else? And one good visualization process is to envision the different chakras, right? Like to close your eyes and see the different chakras and like see all the energy cords that are coming out to it. And the one that I'm looking at right now is like my heart chakra, and I have like so many cords going out, but they're all like pretty balanced. I love, right? I love, and I love with boundaries. That the love is the same with different energetic allowances, right? Based off of the natures of those and the contracts that I have and the morals as well. And so with all of you as well. And if you are feeling these energy cords and you're just like, whoa, this one I'm not particularly fond of, it's okay to like thin it out a little bit. Yeah, you can thin it out a little bit. You can even cut it if you want to. Like I said, it's going to refuse anyways. I'm not going to cut this one. I'm just going to thin it out. So it doesn't have as much of a pull on me. Close that. And another way to pull in energy is to pull it in from the earth, right? Pachamama is so great. So to pull it in through your root chakra and like really charge yourself, and you can release that energy by like pushing, allowing this like new earth energy to come in through your root chakra and pushing out in front of you, and then it's picking up any like densities that are in your root area, and then like you pour it back into the earth, and just make sure you're expressing gratitude and along the whole process. I did say that was like the last thing that I was going to say, but I want to tell you another story, just like a small story on how I even had the consciousness drop into me about energy budgets, right? Energy hygiene, that's something like very basic, right? Like, where's your energy going? Where is it flowing? What energy you're taking in? And being mindful of those like biological factors, right? Because there's like spiritual STDs. Well, I know, I'm rated R again. Spiritual STDs, and it's basically just like the energies that you're getting from other people by exchanging energy with them. You know, like whatever they're processing, that's an STD, right? Spiritually transmitted disease. But with the energy budget, there's this artist, maybe some of y'all know, called Tony Jones, and she's just like talking in one of those things, and she was like talking about her energy budget, and I was just like, whoa, energy budget, that is something new. And during this time I had a restaurant, and I was very much in like the martyr complex. I was feeling like I have to do all of these things, and it's for the mission, and it's okay that I feel so depleted and blah 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 blah. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, that is not the way that things should be. Like, no one should feel like they have to completely sacrifice themselves. They should want to devote themselves, and in devotion it feels great, it feels good. It feels like it's a choice. But in martyrhood, it's like, whoa, I'm sacrificing because I have to, you know? And so that's the complex that I was in. I was very much just like giving so much energy out into the community, giving so much energy out into the people I loved, into the projects, into the mission. And then I stumbled upon that concept of energy budget, and I started to look back and be like, whoa, where is all my energy going? And what are my sources of energy supply? And what relationships actually aren't reciprocal, and I'm giving so much out? And which of those relationships do I want to keep because I see the benefit in being able to give them the energy? And these are like my devoted projects. Oh, that sounds not great. Devoted projects to people. Let's just say like with the people that you really care about, right? Sometimes they don't completely get the medicine that you're trying to give them, but you still give it to them because you want them to heal, you know? And if you do it in gentle doses, right? So they know that you're always there for them whenever they're ready for it, then that's like a great thing. But sometimes it means like you're not getting energy back from that situation, but it's something that you choose to do, right? 4-1-1-1 when I saw that. So that's like very ancestrally led. New beginnings, right? Maybe it's a new beginning for you guys to be connected to your ancestors in that way. But like family healing is a really big area where people are giving a lot of energy because it's your family, right? You love your family and you want them to heal. And my goodness, I'm on a rolling chair. The ground is like not even. These older homes are so beautiful and have so much character, and they're fun. And so I was looking into it, and I was like, okay, well, these are the areas that I still want to give energy to. And so what can I do to make sure I am making sure my cup is full enough to do this? And it ended up being me just having to make a lot of shifts in the way that I operated and the way that I viewed things. And I found what worked for me, and that's what I hope for you guys as well. It's a process, it takes some time, so it takes some experimentation, but you'll figure it out too. And if you need any guidance, I'm just playing around at this moment. Oh my goodness, it's my Gemini showing. Childlike. That I'm here for y'all. I've opened up consultations, and so I've started doing those again, and I feel like I have a lot more tools in my tool belt to share with you guys. So just saying, I care about y'all, and I want to share the things that I've learned and integrated into my life. And these videos are one way that I can do it. So thanks for tuning in and all of my being, and just like showing up for yourself. And if you made it this far in the video, I'm just like, wow. You got this.